After months of controversy, the Ponderosa Campground near Payson is back open. Campers returned today for the first time to look at the popular site since a major tree thinning project.
12 News journalist Kyle Simchuk caught up with the season's very first visitor.
On Thursday, the beloved Ponderosa Campground welcomed its first camper of the season, Lois Stevens from Riverside, California.
You're the #1 very first camper of the season. What do you think about that?
That's amazing, especially that you're here. I totally didn't expect it.
It's her first time staying here, but Stevens noticed something right away.
As I drove around looking for a campsite, I did notice that there were a lot of trees that had been recently cut.
Not just a few, roughly 7,000 Ponderosa pines cut and hauled away. In our story last May, we showed you just how many were marked for removal.
You know, which to me is insane. It's just plain not good timber practice.
James Reeves, a retired civil engineer who spent 19 years with the Forest Service, has long criticized the project. He understands thinning forests can improve their health and prevent wildfires from exploding. He doesn't understand why the Forest Service set their eyes on a campground enjoyed by generations.
And in my opinion, it still looks very much like a forest. I know that we've had comments all along that people are afraid we're going to totally ruin what they appreciate about the place, and it's really not what we want to do.
John Wardheide, a silviculturist, says thinning was necessary for camper safety and forest health. He says the campground is now better protected against devastating wildfires, and hazardous trees at risk of falling have been removed.
In Arizona, our limiting resource is water, so they're all fighting over that same drop of water, and none of the trees are going to be real successful. And the trees that don't get that drop of water are the ones that die off or just become weaker and weaker.
The project reduced tree density from 350 trees per acre to 80, focusing mainly on smaller trees. The cutting itself only took days.
Most of our work in Arizona is done mechanically. They use equipment called a feller buncher, which essentially grabs the tree, cuts the tree off, and stacks it.
There's no denying it. The Ponderosa Campground looks different. There's less shade, less privacy between campsites, and more tripping hazards on the ground. We also noticed more noise from the highway. But Stevens, who has mobility issues, says it's still a special place.
It's a gorgeous campground. It really is.
And she says the 90-minute drive from Phoenix is still well worth it.
Come out and see what it's like.
The Ponderosa Campground is now open through November 3rd, and if you are planning to come up this season, there are some other changes to be aware of. You can no longer reserve a campsite online. Instead, you have to show up here. Campsites are first come, first served. We're outside of Payson in the Tonto National Forest. Kyle Simchuk, 12 News.
Kyle, thanks.